What I read was starting at 5.
Okay. I'll call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, everyone. This is the 2019-2020 Milton School District warrant articles. We will go with the first one, which is, first of all, we did get a...
Mr. Chairman, roll call, please.
Oh, thank you, Yes, madam. Have a roll call, please.
Peg Bird.
Mark Courier. David Carpus.
Well, Carrier.
Larry Brown.
Thomas McDougal.
Danny Smith.
Justin Bone.
And would the school board open their meeting?
I open our meeting.
Okay. All right, now I think I'm in.
Roll call? Roll call?
Lauren Osworthy.
Paul's here.
Peg Bird.
Okay.
I'm a two-person.
You got power?
Okay, okay. We'll go through the warrant articles. We only deal with money articles, so we can skip the first one, Article 1, and now we have Article 2, which is a money. I will read the article, and then I will ask if anyone has any questions. Or does anybody want to, you've seen the sheet here for the teachers? I'll get to that when we get there.
Yes.
Okay, this is Article 2. Shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amounts set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or as amended by vote of the first session, for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $10,497,000. Oh, jeepers, I got the wrong ones.
You're missing a page.
I'm missing a page.
$497,009.66.
Okay,
Should this article be defeated, the default budget shall be $10,421,276.91, which is the same as last year. This.
okay, I just don't have, for some reason, I don't have the pages.
I don't need
I can
to
speak to that. Check the back side of the first page.
Here.
Some of them were double, or printed on two sides.
Okay, some are not.
Give this to, please.
Okay, I think I see what
Bob,
it
we've
is.
got one for you.
Do you have any others? Because mine's blank also.
Yeah.
You wanna take that one? I'll probably get this.
Which is the same as last year with certain adjustments required by previous action.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
No.
All the ones that are in that stack that we handed down.
This one's good.
Okay, I got some extra.
Yeah, no, mine was fine.
Okay, I've got some that are okay. Everybody all set? Okay, maybe I should just go through that again. Okay, we'll try it again. All right. Article 2, shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate as an operating budget, not including appropriations by special warrant articles and other appropriations voted separately, the amount set forth on the budget posted with the warrant or as amended by vote of the first session for the purposes set forth therein, totaling $10,497,009.66. Should this article be defeated, the default budget shall be $10,421,276.91, which is the same as last year with certain adjustments required by previous action of the Milton School District or by law, or the governing body adjusted or the governing body may hold one special meeting in accordance with RSA 40:13, 10, and 16, okay, to take up the issue of a revised operating budget only. Note, Article 2, operating budget does not include appropriations and any other warrant articles. The total operating budget will be offset by federal grant revenues of $339,137, leaving a net budget amount of $10,157,872.66. The RSA 32:5(3). The amount of $339,137 will not be raised by taxation. This article does not include appropriations and any other warrant articles. The school board recommends this 5-0. Okay, is there any questions from the board? Okay. Dave,
Just one, without cross-reference, I'm assuming this is the exact same number we actually already approved
if we did,
and I voted on.
yeah, I checked the warrants of articles to make sure they were the numbers that we were going to go through. I went through a lot of them today, so. So there is any other questions at all? Then let me call the, yes?
I'll make a motion to approve, warrant article 2 as written.
Second.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay, now we'll call the roll. I will call, let me call the roll this way, because I've got this all set up. Tom,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Aaron, Justin,
Yes.
okay, Peg,
Yes.
and the chair says yes. I'll have to wait for Aaron to come back. Okay, I'm not going to. Aaron?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Motion passes 9-0. Article 3, shall the Milton School District vote to approve the cost items included in the collective bargaining agreement reached between the Milton School Board and the Milton Education Association, which calls for the following increase in salaries and benefits at the current staffing levels over the amount paid in the prior fiscal year. The estimated increase for year 2019, 2020 is $157,410.54. Year 2021, $133,676.05. Year 2021, 2022, $128,506.81. And further to raise and appropriate the sum of $157,410.54 for the 2019-2020 school year. Such sum representing the additional costs attributable to the increase in salaries and benefits over those of the appropriation at current staffing levels paid in the prior fiscal year. The school board recommends this appropriations 4-0.
Bob, if I may, I would just like to review what was handed out.
Okay, do we need to put a motion out there?
I move to recommend the number presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those with discussion.
With discussion.
Okay, what, Doug and I are on the negotiating team with the teachers. Once again, if you look at the top, the justification, they are still the lowest paid in the surrounding area. Milton current salary is $33,357 to $55,400. $58,465. Average New Hampshire salaries are $58,129. The average Milton teacher salary is $48,846. And then I've compared our salaries to the beginning in the top schedules for Farmington, Alton, Rochester, Wakefield. I did add Middleton Elementary this year because they now have an elementary and it's right up the street. It's part of Governor Wentworth. Dover, Somersworth, Barrington, and Pittsfield, all within commuting distance here. For 2019-2020, it's a 2% increase plus step movement for those people who are not on step 14 yet, $17,734. The increase in New Hampshire retirement, all based on the increased salaries, $9,752.89, increase in FICA, $434.71, increase in disability. The total uncontrollable costs are $27,921.75, or 17.8% of the total cost. The total increase for the teachers is $117,488.79. $52,736.83 represents the 2% increase for all 56 teachers. Step movement on the salary schedule, there will be 32 teachers who do move on step. Does everybody understand what step is? Okay. And their average increase is 6%. 24 teachers do not move on the step. They're already on step 14 and beyond. It'll just be the 2% increase. And then we have 3 teachers who will actually be moving laterally. So they've done extra schooling and have a master's plus whatever. So their average is a 6% increase. One of the things with the increases, 2 years ago, we did give them an increase and step movement, but prior to that, they did not get anything, so they're still way behind. Health insurance, we did maintain what is called the green plan with caps on the district contribution. So the single plan, they pay 10%, but we have a $10,000 cap, so they in reality pay more than the 10%. 2-person, we have a $16,000 cap. Family, $21,500 cap. We did increase the buyout from $3,000 to $4,000 in line with other district buyouts. And this year we offered a dependent care flexible spending account. I don't know if anybody has any questions yet. Extra/co-curricular stipends. We added the Voice of Democracy position. It's one position at $600. A person has been doing it for a couple of years without getting paid, which did not seem fair to that person. Increase the after-school program and summer school positions from $20 an hour to $25 an hour, with an average of 6 to 10 positions per program. And we increased the after-school program coordinator from $25 to $30 an hour, and that's one position. Our after-school program is absolutely incredible. They have 4 sessions, they run for 4 or 5 weeks. 5 weeks. And the kids, Nathan, do you remember how many kids signed up this? All right, we have some sheets here with kids who have signed up for the after-school program. So it is, it's absolutely incredible. So.
You can hand them around.
Let's do that.
The other thing is, on the second page, they did have more early release days for professional development time, but kind of taken away, so we agreed to adding 5 early release days to the schedule. But with a caveat that if we need those hours at the end of the year for instruction time, we will take them away. So, a couple of other things that were not on here but should be probably in the contract, and even, this has been, or the contract itself has been approved by the town prior, so this is not really a change, but up to 4 people can retire and receive a buyout of $8,500. And at the end of the year, people with sick days over 150, they get $45 a day. So that's already in the contract, but we never know how much it's gonna be. And then 2020 to 2021, 133,000 again, uncontrollable expenses, a 2% increase, step movement, and the same thing for 2021 and 2022. So, I just believe that we could use an explanation of the negotiating that we did. Thank you, Douglas, thank you, Earl, thank you, Nate.
Okay, this board has any questions? Tom?
It looks like to me that I heard you say that one reason for the step lane and everything, all that was to reduce the desire for teachers to go elsewhere. Except it appears to me that the bottom end of the salary range, we're pretty much in line with most everybody around. Where it looks like we would maybe have an issue is the top end, when the teachers start to get more experience, so on and so forth. Now, let's face it, if our top salary is 55, and touch over 55,000, and they could go to Governor Wentworth and get top range of 79. Is there any way that then in 3 more years when you go through this negotiation again, maybe look at adding some more steps to the plan to, if the desire is to keep people here, it seems to me that maybe extending it out, and probably I'm gonna get pilloried in the community by suggesting that we actually increase money that we're gonna give to the school, but it looks like to me that you've done a good job with the step lane and all that for the younger and sort of middle of their career teacher, but as they get more experience, get much better at teaching, what's the desired reason to stay here? I would.
If you remember last time around, that longevity is part of the contract, so people who are on step 14, well actually step 15, even though there's no step 15, but they've been in Milton for that many years, then they do get a longevity stipend. The last time around it was anybody who came in on step 14, which meant I could start working here in my first year, get this lovely longevity check. So that was taken away, but that is added to the salaries for people at the top step.
I'm just recommending that when you go to negotiate,
Okay, no, that's,
adding additional steps under the plan
okay,
to make it more desirable for somebody to decide they want to stay here.
Earl?
thank you.
I think, going along with what Tom said, I think the perspective, I've done this for a number of years. And right now, as you can see in the news, it's very difficult to get people in science and math and tech. Also, people have begun to leave the field, and having been in a smaller district for so one of the biggest problems that we ran into, we're kind of in the same boat, is that after 5 years, if you had remarkable results in the state exams, you could make $10,000 more going to Lake George or something like that in Saratoga Springs. And that's a very difficult thing to do. All we can do is responsibly try to keep them as competitive as we can. Because I think that the other aspect is the professional development. I think that higher achieving schools and so forth have a stable staff and stable administration. So you have these early release days and you change curriculums and you change books or something. But if you keep changing staff, if you start changing a team, team, when you're coaching, you don't have a stable team, you don't have something to build upon. So you're putting this money into professional development, you're putting this money into building a cohesive team that's communicating on students, how students achieve, building relationships with the community. So I think that what we're looking for as a school community is to attract and maintain as much staff as we can, because the market, as I said, is only getting more severe, especially in certain areas. So I think that, because you look at it, the most important part is the personnel that we have.
Okay, Mark?
Two questions, Mr. Chair, is there a list of stipends? I don't see, is there a list of stipends that, this contract?
We have,
Was it in the purple book?
It is in the program.
yeah, it is in the purple book, just up your purple book in there.
Okay, and the second question is, why did we not get this information a lot sooner so we could do our homework and prepare ourselves? Why are we getting it 20 minutes into a meeting and you're asking us to vote on it? It's a dollar figure. I know that there's it's between the teachers union and between the school board that they negotiate in good faith. But you're asking me to vote on a dollar figure on information that I just got 20 minutes ago, and you're asking me to vote on that. Why did we not get it sooner?
I only got this.
I'm not saying, I'm asking you, I'm not blaming you, I'm just asking you the question, so as a board, that we do our job,
Yep.
as we're appointed, to review this, that we were doing this all along. Had we had this a week ago, then we could have gone and we could have looked at Farmington, Alton, Governor Wentworth, Dover. We could have gone and looked at what other school districts are paying for insurance. We could have done our homework. But 20 minutes into the meeting, we're handed this, or less than 20 minutes, and you're asking me to vote on it.
You know, they could have held back till November 8th, until December, not January 8th. That's when they could still talk about the contract. I guess what it is, I'm more concerned with what goes on in Milton. Milton is Milton, and that's my only thing, is that we can look everywhere, but circumstances are different.
Okay, let's take out the town, let's take out insurance, let's take out all the dollar items. You're asking me to vote on a dollar item. You're asking me to vote on something that I just received.
You'll vote the way you would like to vote.
Okay, thank you.
That's the best I can do for that.
Thank you.
Lauren?
Page 32 of your purple book is the page you're looking for the state.
Thank you.
Is there, Larry? Dave?
Just a quick one. Average Milton teacher salary, 48,846. You might not know off the top of your head, but what's the average years on the teachers in relation? Because that's, as Tom pointed out, in terms of why we're good at the low end but not good at the high end, is like, what is our high end compared, on an average, compared to these other school districts? It's like, just having the dollar range doesn't make much difference if our average teachers are all like 5 to 8 years and we don't have many that are at 14, then our average is going to be 48, and that's right on par.
That might be in the purple book also.
Oh, the individual numbers are, I just, as
No,
he
somewhere
pointed
in
out,
there.
we just got this, so I haven't had time to go figure out what the average is based on what's in the purple book, because the purple book doesn't have the, if I recall correctly, doesn't have the averages. It has each individual teacher and how many years they have, but not what the average is. Yeah, it does have all, what every person is in terms of a step.
Right, which would tell you how many years' experience they have. I suppose if I could look at the beginning.
go ahead while they're looking for that.
What is the money of a step? If it's 5%, take your starting salary, multiply it out 5% per year, and see how long on average that takes you to get to 48. I suspect you're looking at an average between 10 and 15 years that teachers have been in.
Can you repeat that part? I'm sorry, I was trying to follow along.
What is the money of a step? When I go from step 10 to step 11, what's it worth?
Yeah,
You're not gonna have a true figure, it's about a 3% increase in between each step. You go up, you go laterally, it'll be about 6, because that's what you do. You're not gonna have a true dollar amount, because you need to know your step. Before that, maybe about $1,200, maybe the first step. The second step will be higher a little bit. As you go up to 14, you'll be higher. And when you get to 14, you get your longevity. And that's broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4 categories. After one. And if you're gonna lose a teacher, you usually don't lose them after they've been here a while. You usually lose the younger teachers when they're just fresh out of college. And that's where you want to get your starting salary up.
Okay, the teacher steps start on page 21.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers, you look at it. Answers anything? Okay.
No, like I said, that gives me all the individual ones, but it's like, it would be good to know, to know how far off we are really compared to the other schools is what the distribution is.
Nate may have some answers.
Well, I don't
Go ahead,
I don't know off the top of my head, but this isn't a good visual anyway, because it stops at step 14. So I'd have to go back into my backup notes to get the actual average. So it's not something I can do right now.
Can you get it for us?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
The estimated increases, you say 1920, 157K, 2021's 133, 21-22's 128. I'm assuming that's like year 2021 is 133 on top of the 157, correct?
You get the big increase the first year of the contract.
Yeah, but to find out what the increase would be for the next year, if you were looking at how much total will this cost over 3 years, you would add up those 3 numbers for the increase. Okay.
Anybody else? Larry?
Starting out at 33,000, taking 5% rough per year. After 5 years, you're looking at $40,000. Keep the math up, and you'll get an idea. If I may, I offer a different perspective. And my standard line is they ruined my life and they sent me off to college. Car repair, brand new mechanic does a great job. Brakes off, brakes on. Experienced mechanic will clean out the guide rails. They will use high temperature brake grease. They will use stainless steel clips. They will use anti-vibration masking. And they will check the condition of the flexible piping. That's what you're paying for in experience. You're not just a simple brake job. You're paying for the expertise to evaluate each individual car as it comes along. Write that down as students and teacher expertise.
Any more discussion? Okay. I'll call the roll. Dave?
No,
No, we need a,
need a
We'll do
motion.
we need a motion?
Somebody needs to move to.
Larry made a
I-
motion.
Oh, that's
There it
right,
is.
there
Sorry.
was one and a second for discussion.
I do apologize.
Okay, you got it? You all set?
I have it.
That was a long
I
time.
just didn't highlight it. I just didn't highlight it.
Okay. Okay, Larry?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Mark?
No.
Tammy?
Yes.
Aaron?
No.
Justin?
No.
Peg?
Yes. Yes.
Anthony, yes. Chair says yes. Okay. Motion passes 5-4. You have the same thing, Sherry?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
I have 5 to 4.
Yep, okay, motion passed. Okay, next one. Article 4, shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to purchase library media for the new high school and library? This is a special warrant article appropriation. The school board recommends this appropriation 5-0. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Article 4 for the $5,000 for the library.
Second.
Okay, second by Larry. Discussion. Any discussion on this? Okay. I'll call the roll then. Tom,
Yes.
Dave,
No.
and Larry,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
and Tammy,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
okay, Justin,
Yes.
Peg,
Yes.
and the chair says yes. Motion is, passes 7-2.
I only had one no.
There was just one
It's
no.
8-1.
I thought I heard 2 no's.
No.
Okay, wait a minute, who said the, no, you just did.
There was just one.
Okay, thank you for the correction. Okay. Right. Article 5, shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $40,000 to purchase a maintenance plow truck for the Milton School District? This is a special warrant article appropriation. The school board recommends this appropriation 5-0. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Article 5 for a $40,000 warrant article for the plow truck for the Milton School District.
Okay, make the motion, is there a second?
Second for discussion.
Second by Tom. Okay, discussion.
It is.
Wait a minute, go ahead,
Just to interject something, the reason why this is put on here, the plow truck has already had the frame supports welded once. So we're looking to get something new and maybe recoup a little bit off of this truck while it's still a usable, feasible truck. So another couple of years, you know, it's gonna be towed to Lambert's. So now's a good time to replace when we can.
No, he partly answered, I was gonna ask if this was intended to replace a vehicle that we already had.
Yeah, 2003 Chevy.
Yeah, is it, did you give any thought to having a capital reserve fund to put money away every year? Because I'm assuming plow trucks gotta be replaced on a regular basis.
Last year, we tried to include the maintenance vehicles as part of the bus capital reserve and all that, and it did not pass. We wanted to get these in rotation as well, so that did not work as well, so. So try to direct.
Tammy?
Is this 40,000, I'm assuming is for a brand new vehicle?
Brand new truck with a plow setup, the whole thing ready to go.
Is there a reason that
Heavy duty truck.
couldn't try to find a used vehicle?
Probably could, but, I mean, if it's a maintenance vehicle now, you're looking used, God knows what the last person did to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I mean, I have a 2005 truck and I know what I did to it and, you know, I'm gonna try to sell it out of state if I can. But I mean, especially up here with years of salt and stuff like that, at least you know, comes with a warranty, just like the buses and the fleet vehicles we use, I mean, you know, the warranty and everything.
Larry?
You gotta love video. Did I hear you say that the frame has been welded
The
once?
supports on the frame, not the actual frame itself, but there's cross supports and things that are really tender.
The front stuff, this has a plow on it?
This has a problem on it, and just like the back, where the bed is, that's where it's been over.
And if I can call it, this would have the same, lease, purchase, warranties that we associate with town vehicles.
I would assume so, I don't know, maybe Nate would know more about, I'm not really sure as how they go about the purchase.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head what the town does for warranties. but it would be pretty much the same as what we have for the buses. Just not as much mileage, of course.
Any other discussion on this? Tom?
That's great. How old's the current truck?
2003.
So similar question follow on of, this is for a brand new one. I'm assuming the plow isn't transferable, like the plow is shot too, it's not something that could,
I'm not sure about the plow setup. I know like part of the plow, like the whole head unit can be transferred to a different vehicle with different plates. Then you have to trade your electricals and all that stuff over to, you may be able to, I'm not sure the condition overall of the plow itself. I just know the truck is pretty good.
and the only reason I'm asking is because literally I just got a truck with a plow on it that's in phenomenal shape, but it was all used, older, and I inspected the frame and everything underneath it, it was all good. All was said and done, I spent 10 grand total. That was with the plow and the truck on it. It's like, that's the only reason I was asking if at least the plow could transfer over, if it could be reduced by the plow amount, because I know a brand new plow costs quite a lot of money.
Mark?
Did you get bids from the state, I don't know from the state, like from Hilltop Chevrolet, 'cause they do quite a bit of business with the state and state spec trucks. So, I mean, is this the exact price that you need, or is that just a ballpark figure?
I think we were gonna write up to, correct?
It doesn't say up to. it
Yeah,
just-
that's why, cause I know, an average, an average heavy 2500 HD pickup truck is like $38,000 before the plow. A heavy duty truck, that's gonna be able to, hold a plow and a sand load or whatever it is you're gonna put into it. I mean, you can get a half ton, but what's the point?
But the price that you can get it, again, like we did in the past, I don't know if you were there at the time, at Hilltop Chevrolet, they bid out, they do quite a bit of business with the state. Is that the price, or is this just a ballpark figure?
It's a safe guess, yes.
It's a
It's
safe
not
guess.
an actual quote, but it's,
So should this article be bring up to 40,000 instead of a flat 40,000?
I was always told that for articles like this that aren't surplus, you don't do up to. What you do is you spend, if we ended up spending 34,000, 6,000 will go back to taxpayers. The only time you do an up to is when it's surplus.
Okay, so then again, back to the question, you have no bids, no.
We don't have bids yet, no.
So you're just guessing as to how much you think you.
Well, no, he called a couple places and did an average. 40,000 is a flat average. If this is approved, that's when we really do our homework and say, all right, this is what we can do, this is what we can't do.
And did anybody
With
call
the
about
plow.
the state bid?
I am not sure off the top of my head which places he called. I can find out for you.
I know we called it Prezio, that's the one I heard you say.
Okay, so no one did call or find out what the state bid, what the state, no one did. Okay.
I don't believe so.
Okay, Larry.
I think, to follow up on what Nathan said, you cannot have an article that says raise and appropriate up to $40,000. There's no way the voters can figure out what that dollar is that you're raising and appropriating.
Doug, did you have anything you wanted to
Oh,
add?
no, he answered my question. It's a special warrant article, so we don't spend, we get back.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? Okay, wanna call the roll? Tom?
No.
Dave?
No.
Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
No.
Tammy?
No.
Aaron?
No.
Justin? No. Okay,
Yes.
chair says yes. The motion fails 6-3. Okay, Article 6. Shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $27,000 to purchase a school transportation caravan for the Milton School District? This is a special warrant article appropriation. The school board recommends this appropriations 5-0. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Article 6 for $27,000 for a school transportation caravan.
Second,
Second by
for
Larry.
discussion.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? Any discussion by Mark?
Caravan, is this a bus or is this like a Dodge Caravan?
Dodge Caravan.
Dodge Caravan to be used for general transportation, sped transportation,
Sped transportation.
so this is gonna be for sped.
Yeah.
So this will offset, so you have 15,000 in your operating budget for sped transportation on, for, like, for
Surplus.
surplus,
Yeah.
for, not for a student, I can't think of the name of the company at this point in time, provider. So if we buy the van, you're not gonna use that money, we don't need that money? Cause you'll be able to,
Well,
as Tim stated when he was here, that he's covering all of the sped transportation.
Yep.
So with this new van, even more so, so will,
This
that
van
15,000 you won't need?
well, not necessarily, the van would cover, a replacement for what we have now. But the surplus money in Article. Where is it? No, that's for something else though.
So this is to replace what you have now, not in addition to.
Correct. We also have, I guess we didn't do one, we have a trust fund for school buses for that exact purpose, but we don't have enough to cover it. So we're just trying to get a replacement. We have,
How many caravans do you have now?
In the purple book.
yeah, it's, page 40.
And again, the next question to follow up the same thing that I asked about the plow truck. You have an idea?
This actually would be exact in this case,
This
because
is
we
exact.
got one a couple of years ago, it's a replacement. So it's exactly what we plan on spending.
All right, so you do know that it's gonna be 27,000?
Yes.
That
We just
includes-
got one, 2 years ago, I think.
That includes all the placards, the lighting, and everything that has to go with it to make it
Yes. Yep. It looks like there's,
3.
yeah, 3.
And the one you're talking about, the most recent is 2017.
That was bought out of the, money though.
Of the trust fund, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was
Okay.
thinking, I was looking, because I thought were trying to replenish some more into that, but I guess we took that off.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, gonna call the roll. I'm gonna start, Mark.
yes.
Okay, Tammy,
Yes.
Aaron,
No.
okay, Justin,
Yes.
Peg,
Yes.
and Tom,
No.
Dave,
No.
Larry,
Yes.
and the chair says yes. 1, 2, 3. Motion passes 6-3. Article 7, shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $50,000 to be placed in the expendable trust fund for the education of educationally disabled children established in 2011, with such amount to be funded from the June 30th, 2019 unreserved fund balance surplus available on July 1st, 2019. The school board recommends this appropriation 5-0.
I'll make a motion to approve Article 7 to appropriate up to $50,000 for the education of emotionally disabled children to be funded from the reserve fund balance as of July 1, 2019.
Is there a second?
What is it?
Second.
Oh, second by Larry. Discussion.
Oh, educationally, I'm sorry.
All set? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, any discussion? Go ahead, Tom.
I just wanna make sure I remember correctly, in the motions that come out of the unreserved fund balance, they get funded in order of appearance, right? So you start with Article 7 and then Article 8, so if you only have 30,000, that goes into Article 7 and you don't have anything for anybody else. Okay.
Anybody else? Larry?
For information, do you have the present total in that fund?
It's 205. 205.
Is that correct though? There's no money taken out of it?
No, he's asking
We
me
haven't taken any money out.
2008, 208,000.
Okay, that's a little bit lower than I remembered, yeah.
memorized
Larry,
it.
we keep pretty good track of that one.
The,
Bring that to
the
you.
follow-up to that was, what figure do you think will be adequate to be the regular water level? 250?
As we've had many discussions about, that's where it is, you have to keep an eye on, because we have we have to assist those students with those needs. But in answering your question, it needs at least that, assuredly.
250.
Because students have needs, and we have to assist them with those.
Okay, Paul, you have something?
This is, I think, one of the most volatile ones we have on this. One year we'll have no change, and then the next year we'll have an influx of 3 students that need all kinds of help. Wipe it out. It can happen, and that's why we don't have a crystal ball to tell. So it's good to have that rainy day fund there when it will happen. We'll have it covered.
And an IEP is a very, you putting in educational plans and adjustments and modifications and accommodations for those students, and given the necessary supports, those supports change, and you make the best plans for them that you can, but you have to adjust them.
Mark?
I remember back when, I thought it was 25,000 that we put in, the school board did at that one point. So at 50,000, you haven't used it then in 4 years?
Good, yeah.
We've come pretty close. The last 2 years, we really discussed it in great lengths. If you take a look at some of our budgets. We've been lucky, sometimes the numbers change at the very end, and we have not had to do it. You're right, we have not touched it.
You haven't touched it in 4 years.
No, we have not.
But as we speak,
As we speak, everything can change, I understand all
It
that,
is
but you haven't used it in 4 years.
the point you're raising is changing right now. I mean, we're looking at.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
But you haven't used it in 4 years.
It's in their best interest. There's a strong possibility that it will be used this year, currently.
And if we do, we'll have a public hearing.
I mean, it'll be done within the right.
I'm not saying it's not gonna be done the right way. My question to you, again, I'm looking at, you said you had 200 plus that you haven't used in 4 years.
Correct.
Okay.
But I am saying that there's a strong likelihood with the correct mode, the South, Barandai, based upon current events, market, we probably will use it this year.
Correct. And some student can come in, it cost you 100,000, whereas 3 students could leave and they're 30,000 each, and it
Yeah.
offsets it. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's a revolving door.
Precisely, yeah,
So, but you answered my question.
thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna call the roll. I better go back in the same line I was in. Tom,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Mark,
No.
and Tammy,
No.
and Aaron,
No.
and Justin,
Yes.
Peg,
Yes?
the chair says yes. Motion passes 7-9. No, 6-3. Okay, Article 8. Shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $60,000 to be placed in the Milton School District Building Maintenance, Repair, Renovation, and Capital Project Reserve Fund established in 2005 for the purpose of repairing and maintaining school buildings, with such amount to be funded from the June 30th, 2019 unreserved fund balance surplus available on July 1st, 2019. School Board recommends this appropriation 5-0. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Article 8, asking for $60,000 to be placed into our district building maintenance, repair, renovation, and capital reserve project from unreserved fund balance or surplus available on July 1, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tom. Okay, open discussion. Tom?
Do you have any projects currently that, I mean, a lot of times we see 25 or 50 and 60, do you have something in mind that you might need funds for? And what is the current balance in the fund?
On the same page.
41,
Page 42.
42? 42, sorry. $10,000 left.
So just to let you know, like, this covers like major things that we don't know are gonna happen. For instance, the chimney on the high school is one of the things that the brickwork's coming apart in the chimney in the high school. We found the underground tank buried last year. It came out of that. So unforeseen things that are not normal maintenance items. That's what this fund's for. That's why it's so low. It cost
Okay.
30, and then the valving system to go from the oil tanks into the boiler was part of this, so we've hit it pretty hard in the last couple of years.
Any more discussion? Tammy?
I was gonna say, so if there's no big project on the horizon, is it possible to ask for less money than 60, because 60 is a chunk?
We're trying to get it back up to where we have a sustainable amount, where we don't go negative. We came very close this year. That's why we're trying to get it. We usually ask, is it 25?
50.
50?
It's been 50 the past
It's
couple
been
of years.
50, and unfortunately, just the way that, things are getting older, we've been coming across things like that, so. Peg?
Just as a point, this year we paid, or spent out almost $160,000 out of the fund balance for unforeseen problems, and the buildings are getting older.
Any more questions? Any more discussion?
Well, what you ought to realize, I don't know if you realize it or not, we've done a lot of grants for buildings here lately, and dealt with safety issues, and I can't tell you what they are, because they're non-public. But this money, on these grants, we have to kick in like 20 or 10%, certain amount we have to kick in. And this is where that money is coming from in order to pay for these grants. And we've done a lot of projects that deal with safety. You're gonna be seeing more in your schools if you look around. There's gonna be a lot of changes.
You've seen a lot of it in, you've seen a lot of it. Almost every school in the state has gotten one or two or three more, so it's, 4/5 of it comes back from the state.
Okay. Any more questions, discussion? Okay, gonna call the roll. Doug, you, Tom again.
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Peg?
Yes.
Chair says yes. This passes 9-0. Okay. Article 9, shall the Milton School District vote to create an expendable utilities trust fund for the purpose of paying for increased utility costs, including water, sewer, telephones, heating fuel, transportation fuel, electricity, internet, and fiber optics, because of an increase in rates and raise and an appropriate, to up to a sum of $25,000 to be placed in this fund, with such amount to be funded from the June 30th, 2019 unreserved fund balance surplus available on July 1st, 2019, and to name the school board as agents to expend this fund. The school board recommends this appropriation 5-0. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Article 9, asking for the creation of an expendable utilities trust fund for $25,000 to come out of the surplus available on July 1, 2019.
Need a second?
Second.
Who was that? Larry? Okay, Larry made the second. Discussion. I could tell who was. Any questions, any discussions?
One question.
Yes,
So, I know from past, it's like the electric, we know what the rates are gonna be for next year because those are fixed. It's like heating fuel, same thing, we have contract, and most of this stuff seems like it should be a fixed price for the next year. What's this covering now again, that's like unexpected increases, that's not in the contract?
Okay, go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah, for example, our heating bill, or oil and heat, is, it changes every single year. The contract's for a year long, but it does change every year. It went up, I believe, 33% over last year, just from this year, and that's what's got us a little concerned.
But I guess what I'm confused is like, I thought, like, the heating fuel line item is actually in the budget, and that should already be accounting for the increase plus historical, so you should have a good idea how much it's gonna cost for heating fuel next year.
It's an estimate.
Okay, go ahead.
I went to training, for a matter of fact, what, I went to the big training with administrators, and they recommended that we do this. And the other thing you don't realize is we're doing a lot of upgrades to our internet and our fiber optics. We're always doing something for that. We do not have the money sometimes in the operating budget to do that. We're always doing upgrades.
Okay, Larry?
Is it hypothetical? It is possible that the operating budget fails and the default operating budget wins, at which time Article 9 would cut in to pay the actual expenses for utilities, yes?
Yeah.
We haven't thought about it that way. Larry.
Good question. Peg?
I'm going to assume yes, because the default budget does not include any of the increases, so you're right, the default budget wins. We need to be able to pay for the fuel and other stuff, so. Good point, I agree.
Another of our concerns is, it's more of a best guess as to how much, we do know the rate, but if it's a very cold winter, all winter long, we're gonna use more heat, so we're gonna spend more money too. Keep that in mind.
I know that's the case.
If it's nice and warm, we won't be spending as much.
Yeah, and I know that's the case,
Yeah.
and I personally do the same thing, but I know that I estimate out the cost for my heating for my house based on was it last year or the year before when it was ridiculously cold? Which, it's not gonna get colder than that, my heating bill's not gonna be more than that, because that's one of the coldest it's been in like 15 years. So, I guess that's the part I'm confused at, is like the regular budget should have a dollar amount that should cover the most expensive heating bill you've had in the last 10 years, in which case then this wouldn't be needed at all for that.
Yes, Doug?
The get we would have a 16% increase in the telephones, you know, 16. That wasn't anticipated this year.
Actually, no, that was a mistake.
Okay.
They're crediting us for that.
Oh, so we were told that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't told that.
It was, they increased it, and I said, why'd you increase it? And they said they should not.
So we're getting that money.
So we're getting money.
Okay, okay, I'm sorry. I'll make the change.
Larry, go ahead.
The question, how would this complement a technology trust fund? So that you have an internet that is operating at a 5. And this could be used to upgrade that to a 6. Yes?
I would hope so. That's a good question.
Mark?
In your operating budget, didn't you increase your electricity by 15% already?
And,
And the fuel you increased it by
we
15%?
increased it, right, based on last year's,
In the operating budget already?
right.
Yeah, the purpose of this is in case, for some reason, unforeseeable reasons, rates go up, it's a lot colder than we expected, it's there just in case.
And again, if the default budget is what is approved, we're gonna be,
You can't include that in your default.
no,
That was one of the new rules.
See, this came about with Sheriff Shute said that he and Kurt went to this, with the school boards and so forth, was indicating that it's best practice for schools to do that, trying to work with the school community. That's why we brought this forth. And most of us are very good points to it, but it's, you know, new.
Yeah, I understand. Any more questions? Okay, call the roll.
No.
Dave?
No.
Larry?
Yes.
Mark?
No.
Jamie?
No.
Aaron?
no,
Justin?
No.
Okay,
yes,
chair says yes. Motion fails, 6-3. Okay, last article, Article 10. Shall the Milton School District vote to raise and appropriate up to the sum of $25,000 to be placed in the Milton School District Technology Expendable Trust Fund established in 2007, with such amount to be funded from the June 30th, 2019 unreserved fund balance surplus available on July 1st, 2019. Need a motion? So that the school board recommends this appropriation 5-0. Now I need a motion.
I will make a motion to approve Article 10, raising $25,000 to be placed in the District Technology Expendable Trust Fund to be taken from the unreserved fund balance or surplus available on July 1, 2019.
Second. Second by Tom. Okay, discussion. Tom?
What's the current balance in the trust fund?
$41,541.
120?
41,500 approximately. The amount they used this year was just 10.6.
Any other discussion? Mark?
What are we using this for?
bulk of it is for our computer replacements.
Isn't that in the budget also?
Computer replacements? No.
There's no replacements in the budget at all.
There's parts here and there, but not actual computers.
And as far as the grants go, I know with the SIG grant and all the grants that you've been getting, and, you know, the cows that you've been having, the computer on wheels. Where, I know there's a lot of computers, we're moving
Yeah.
quite a bit. And there's no grants that you have, that you're getting, that allow you to buy computers.
Not at this time, no.
Well, SIG grant was nice. Yeah, so the NES one, if we're gonna buy these computers, we buy and remodel them, and that way we get cheaper rates. We do go up the bid.
Any more questions? Okay, go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, one, it's like, so I did find the, like the line items you have in the regular budget for technology service for new computers, and the fact that it did get zeroed out. It's like apparently there used to be a budget in there at some point, and this is effectively replacing that. Is that?
Trying to sustain our computer replacement program through the trust fund.
Any other questions?
And how many computers, what's the, to come up with this number, you must have had how many computers you need to replace or plan to replace this year? How many systems is this replacing?
I don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay,
I'm not exactly sure how many, but I know that MES put together a replaceable cycle, so many for this year, so many last year, so many this year, so many next year.
I might actually have it here.
I was gonna say, yeah, because I know John had pulled that all together.
So how many did you replace last year?
That's an MES list right there, it's an old one.
This is an NES one, yeah. And then this is just for, faculty.
Yeah.
It doesn't include students, but just staff is, we're looking at 10, for NES only.
At least you, so MES only, you replace 10 for faculty, high school, another 10?
I would guess more than that. I can get you a number for it. I'll ask them.
So you're thinking 25?
I'm thinking more like 25, yes.
So for $10,000, you replace 25 computers.
No, that 10,000 wasn't part of that replacement. It was just for, it was for a handful, I think maybe 6 at the time. That's how we decided to do it. We did most of them through grants, that's what it was. Yeah. So that 10,000 doesn't, that doesn't, that's not just computers. It's for other things too.
any other questions? Okay. Call the roll. Start with you again, Tom.
Yes.
H.
No.
Larry?
Yes.
No.
Tim?
No.
Aaron?
No.
Justin? No. Okay,
Yes.
and the chair says yes. The motion fails. 5-4. Yep, 5-4, so motion fails. That's the end of the warrant articles. Thank you for coming down. I'm sorry.
Article 11 is not a money article. I would offer the thought that if I have a pair of shoes that pinch, I don't wait 3 years to get a new pair.
This is all for school warrants and, yes, Doug?
Can I ask that we take the school, we take a 10-minute recess so we can leave your area without disrupting your meeting?
Sure. Yeah, we're gonna continue on.
I didn't want to disrupt you.
I appreciate it.
I'd like to first thank each board member.
I want to thank the school board and superintendent.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna join the school board, that was all right.
It's like,
you need to leave. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for what you've done. I appreciate it in a timely manner.
Yeah, you may do. Conduct the business. Thank you all, because I have to live in this town and I have to pay taxes. Oops, sorry. Except for my raccoon, did you? So next place we see it, deliberative session?
Huh?
Next place, deliberative session? Public hearing? Next week,
Public
Thursday?
hearing, the January 10th, the public hearing, here,
Here.
at 6 o'clock.
All right,
Make mention of that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, Sherry.
Bye, Harry.
Nice to see you.
Okay, we can get started back in. Next item on the agenda is the review and set for 2019 town budget. I made a copy for everyone. The town budget. I put the colors on there just to keep track of where everything is. I put the default with different color and the budget request in a different color. And what I highlighted in red is what was changed by either the department heads or the budget committee. Now, before I go any further, is there any other changes that this committee would like to make? This is gonna be our last chance before we go to the public hearing. Well, something to think about is when we get the final number, I will bring it to the town administrator as our budget for the town. So this can be placed on the warrant. I've gone over these figures several times, and I keep coming out with the same number. Mr. McDougal helped me out with that. He sent me his numbers, he pulled them together. There were some errors on both ends, and we took care of it, and I'm assuming that we do agree, Tom?
Yeah, that's what I was just double checking on that.
Okay, that's not a problem. I double checked it today. And if anyone feels that they wanna change something in here, now would be the time to do it, or we'll come up with a motion with what we have. what may not be the same is the selectmen's request. I forgot to, I'm sure they agreed with our changes, and I just didn't put them in, but I did put them in the new, another spreadsheet. They voted on some of this, but I don't have the minutes to look at, but I'm sure they were gonna agree on it anyway. Am I correct, Aaron?
Board of Selectmen requested for the budget to be $4,676,833.37, which is $100 difference between what the budget committee request was.
Okay, so I don't know where it is. I've gone through some of it.
It was, part of it was because numbers were not changed that were supposed to have been changed in our budget prior to the meeting, that have now, all of those numbers have all been changed. So the correct number for the Board of Selectmen request was $4,676,833.37.
That's the same one? Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'm just confused here. Didn't we, like on the planning board, didn't we have a motion, a second, and we voted on the number of $2,000? Didn't we go through each one of those and vote on each planning board, zoning board, town administrator?
Yeah, we did.
And so then the only thing we had left to do was tally up the number?
Yep, yeah.
So what changes are you looking for us to make?
If there's any others that you saw at the time, you might have said, well, look, I see something different, I may wanna make a change. This will be the last time, because whatever number we put here will go to the.
So the only person that can bring up the change is the person who voted yes on it. If you voted no on it, you can't bring it back up to be changed.
I don't have the motions, I don't know who made the motions on this, so if you, my understanding is whoever made that motion to whether, you gotta be on the winning side of the vote.
Which would be, yeah, you have to vote yes.
You have to vote yes.
I'd have to vote yes in order to make the change.
I only put that in there just in case, because I was considering taking some of these out, but the percentage would be so little, it wouldn't even make a difference. But, Larry, you all set?
To the best of my knowledge and belief, a budget committee member at the deliberative session is a voting member of the public and is not constrained by the position on the budget committee, and could, for a substantive reason, offer an amendment to the budget in that great phrase, for good cause shown.
At the deliberative session.
We could show up to the deliberative session and make any change we want.
At the deliberative session, yeah, understand that, happened before. But I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about deliberative session, I'm talking about right now.
We have not made any final numbers, that's why it's open. If we make changes in here, it's gonna change this bottom line. But we can make changes here. Somebody might have a different, seen something different, I said, I think I'd like to try it. If that's why I put it on the open, because we did not seal this number. Once we put this number out there, it's gonna go to the public hearing. And then we'll hear what the public has to say about it. We may be able to change it even then. It can be changed all the way up to the deliberative session.
Okay.
And the budget committee can even have that changed there. If we are satisfied with this, we can take it here, or, as I said, I was looking at some, it's not even going to make a big difference at all. I can't get it to go down any further.
And
The only thing is, I am a little, I'm not too crazy how this budget went out. They've been asking for extra people. We got an SRO that I'm having a problem with. We can't keep officers, and how are we gonna get a school resource officer? Will we be able to keep them? It's not a lot of money, but I know we need it. But I'm having mixed feelings about it. The fire department cut his budget over $6,000. He took his own raise out of it, and I'm sure he didn't put safety before the budget. Or I got it the other way around. I'm sure that he didn't.
Put the desire to cut the budget
Yeah,
over
over
the
the
safety
safety.
of his officers. But-
Okay, Larry, I'm just done with this.
Then, Mr. Chairman, for the purposes of discussion, and in the sweet and simple belief that this may be the accurate number, I move the Town of Milton 2019 operating budget under the supervision of the Budget Committee to be $4 million. Okay, what line am I on? I am right at this, I should not have written the second line. $4,676,733.37.
Second.
Second by Mark, made a motion by Larry, second by Mark, discussion.
And I tend to agree with you from a perspective of, it's like we've added people, we've added hours, there were several times when questions got raised in terms of the potential things of reducing costs, that, almost the same thing with the school board today, this evening, is like, if you don't have an answer, then you need to come back with an answer as to why you can't do something. And there were too many of those things for my comfort, but I don't know what we're supposed to do about it at this point. It's other than,
For myself, I think we nickel and dime this budget. Tom did wanna take out the extra person in the library. The only problem I have with that is we didn't know what the extra cost was gonna be to add a librarian, another person. But there's a safety factor involved. And I know we need this SRO. But my fear is we cannot keep police officers. We haven't, I don't know when the last time we had a full complement. And this is about as good as we're gonna get. I mean, this budget is up 2.48% compared to where it was earlier. And there were department heads who did make other cuts as well. Everyone made cuts here and there, but Larry, if you got something, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I do not wish to interrupt you. The $100 misunderstanding. My presumption, is it correct to ask of the select board's rep that a careful review of all figures which you have will either find or wipe out the $100 difference from your figures to the budget
your
committee's-
figures?
to the budget committee's figures. And if, my favorite phrase, for good cause shown, you find that your $100 is accurate and there's an unnoted math error in ours, the structure of the public hearing will permit you to bring that number forward, and at the deliberative session, it can also be brought forward, sort of the same conversation I had with Mark. And that, parenthetically, is why I'm moving this number now.
Aaron, where's that number? Did you, that doesn't work?
The number that I have?
Yes.
For the final, for the budget?
No,
for
I
the-
wanna know what line you got.
I would have to go through the whole thing. This was handed to me, as you saw, 30 minutes into your meeting. It was supposed to have been emailed. I didn't get it emailed earlier, so
Somehow or another, I can't understand why
I
people
was-
are not getting emails, because I'm sending it out, if it don't go through, it comes back to me. And, granted,
Bob, in fairness to you, I received your email at 5 o'clock tonight.
I didn't send anything out.
I received, it was like 3 or 4 emails from you at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, I was not prepared to open them up and go through it. Even at 5 o'clock, I was not prepared to go through everything. I had other things I had to do. So at 5 o'clock tonight is when I received them. So yes, it did go through, but not until then.
so I did get, like, the school warrant articles, I did get on the 26th. Now, the details of the details with the breakdown, that Peg provided this, we didn't get that, that wasn't, but that was just background
But
information.
I sent that to Bob, and I got it back from Bob, so I don't know why people are not getting their
Okay,
emails.
the-
Because
this one?
yes, because I
Okay.
sent that to Bob, and I got it back from Bob. So
Okay.
I don't know what's going on, but anyway. So we have a discrepancy, I'm sorry, but
No, the board is between what, the paperwork that Bob gave me and what the Board of Selectmen has as a final number, yes, there is a discrepancy.
Okay, I'm gonna call the roll. Okay, any more discussion? Okay,
There are, and I've got 4 separate line items that are different between the selectmen's and the budget. Some are higher, some are lower, so why there's a difference in 100, I'm not sure. But there's several items that are different between the two.
the budget I put together, on that last column, I've gone through it maybe 10 to 15 times over and over. I have sheets that I put down that we took money out of, and some that the department heads have reduced. I kept all of those, I brought them back out. And some of these selectmen's requests, I did not fill in the column, but I'm sure they have the same number as us. And the $100 difference could be coming from the planning and codes. Because there was $100 there.
Yep.
And there was a $100 increase in Pat Smith's, I think it was solid waste, I think he put it back up to 100. So it could be anywhere, but this number is the number I came out with, and I've worked on it. Tom has worked on it as well, we seem to agree on it. So what we're gonna do is, if we're all done discussion, we're gonna take a roll call. Now, we made that motion to send this to the, Sherry, you got the motion, how we're to send it?
Larry made the first.
Motion by Larry to approve the town of Milton,
Yeah.
Budget for 2019 under the, can't remember what the, can't read my own writing here.
The official budget is prepared by the budget committee.
Right, the official budget
Okay.
is prepared by the budget committee for $4,676,733,337, and it was seconded by Mark.
Okay.
All right. Just hold on for a minute, I need to get the roll call. We're gonna do something else. I'll tell you what, okay, Peg,
no,
Mark,
Yes.
Dave,
No.
Larry,
Yes.
Tom,
No.
Tammy,
Yes.
Justin,
Yes.
okay. And the chair says yes. 5. Did I miss somebody? Aaron,
But she,
Is she supposed to vote for this since it's
she
the town?
can vote, but she has to vote.
but I think she has to vote
She has to vote
yes,
with the
'cause it's the
selectmen.
selectmen.
I have to vote with the selectmen, so
I
it's.
guess if you were sitting here, I would have missed you. I'm sorry, Aaron.
Mine was no's, I have to vote with my budget.
Okay, motion passes 6-3.
Whoops.
No.
1, 2,
3,
Did you have Aaron as a
3,
no?
4, 5, 6.
I had 4,
4 no's, myself, Mark, David,
and Peg.
Okay.
and Ted.
Okay, you're the
it should be
official
5
one.
to 4, so,
So what is it?
5,
Motion
4.
passes 5 to 4.
5, 4, okay, maybe there's something I missed here.
Peg, no. Mark, yes. Dave, no. Larry, yes. Tom, no. Tammy, yes. Justin, yes. Aaron, no. And the chair, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's where I missed it.
And the integrity of the electoral college has been preserved.
Okay, motion passed 5 to 4. That's the on the agenda.
Bob,
Okay. You wanna go, you feel all right?
please.
All right,
No,
go
but
ahead.
I've been here,
Okay, Peg, I appreciate you being here.
thank you all.
I know you didn't feel well, I was gonna see if I could get you out earlier.
And I'm glad we sat next to Mark.
What?
This is I'm glad we sat next to Mark, so I can-
Don't pass the cold on to the
What?
dog.
Oh.
Okay, okay, next in
That being said, Coach, you were talking about, the only thing left is the approval of the minutes, but you said there was a whole bunch of corrections that you had.
I just got them this afternoon online, so.
Yeah, it's saying that,
Yeah.
so that's, I'm
So
not sure.
I mean, I
we-
like to
we-
correct them rather than us sitting here going,
Yeah,
page one,
Okay.
line 3,
Okay,
so I'll let you guys do it.
the approval of minutes of December
Have a
5th.
good one.
The only thing, 2018, I did not receive them. Did anybody receive those minutes? December 5th? I did not receive them.
You should have received them, Bob.
I got them at like 5 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't had a chance to really go through
Same
it.
here.
Okay, no, we can table it, I didn't get it.
Motion to table the approval of the minutes.
That's when I got the
Okay.
release. I
For all
replied to
three
you right
days.
away.
One at a time, one at a
No,
time.
one
You don't
at a
One at a
time.
time, okay.
Are you going to-
Okay, cause you
For the
made,
fifth.
all right, he made the motion to
Yep.
table it,
Christmas.
Larry made the second. Any discussion on it? Okay, call the, not gonna call the roll. Is there, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. The approval of minutes of December 11, 2018, we cannot table it. They have not been posted. I do not have any draft minutes. I cannot put it as a post. I can't table it because we don't have, if somebody should call me on it,
They're
I
out
have.
there.
They're in the hall.
The December 11th?
I posted
sure
the
I
5th
saw
and the
those,
set
yeah.
and the 11th.
You know, I haven't got any of these minutes.
That's strange because I've sent them to everybody.
I got mine like around 5 o'clock.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's when I got mine too.
That is very strange.
Apparently, I'm not in the loop.
And
Well, you are. It's RP Carrier, right?
Yes.
That's it.
I have the one for the 5th, and
You got the other one too?
The 5th and the 11th.
Okay.
the 5th and the 11th, and I got them at 2:50.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons I'm sticking with Gmail, is because I tend to get them probably as quick as you possibly. So I don't know when, I can, if curious, I'm actually curious now.
They'll probably send them around that time then.
Then draft minutes being available, Dave, your motion is at that point to table,
Did you make the motion?
Yeah, the table for the 5th.
and for the,
Oh, and for the 11th.
All right.
and so, then I will second for the second. Second,
All right,
yes.
you second it? Okay, discussion. Okay, no discussion? I will, those who are in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? I can't oppose it. Now, the April minutes of December 18th, now I don't have them either, so did anybody
Those
get
have, those have not been sent out yet.
Yeah, those,
That was 10 pages worth of notes.
Okay,
and those haven't been posted, so.
they haven't been posted, so I cannot ask to be tabled. Because if somebody should call me on this, because they're beyond the 5-day rule, I would have to present it, and I don't have it. You can't do that. That one will have to stay, will have to stay. I understand, it was a long meeting. The thing is, if you have some questions or anything, to shorten it a little bit. You know, I did see your 5th posted up there, but you put the budgets on there, I wish you wouldn't have put the whole numbers. I was going to put something behind it, make it easier for you. So the December 18th will remain, you can't make any motions on it. Okay, any business that may come before the board? There's none, there's no questions or comments or anything, there's no public. The next meeting is January 7th. It's going to be at the Emma Ramsey. It's the same night that the selectmen are going to meet upstairs for their meeting. I wanted to join it. I came down this afternoon to talk to the town administrator. It looks like they have a very busy evening. My hopes was to get on board so we can get the warrant articles. So we're gonna have to have it downstairs because hopefully they're gonna be done. They're in the lawyer's hands, and hoping that I'm going to get them and we'll go downstairs and make our recommendations. It's a Monday night, 6 o'clock, same place, but we're gonna be downstairs. I can't, no more room on the calendar to bring it up here. There's no room, unless somebody wants to do a Friday night or a Saturday morning. And we have to get those warrant articles before the public hearing. The time is running out. What we did tonight for the school, we will be able to present it January 10th. We'll be able to get started. I won't have to ask anybody to come in a half hour early to go over the warrants before we have the public hearing. This is what I want to avoid with the town. I don't want to ask anybody to come in at 5:30 and go over it before we have the public hearing at 6.
I will not be here on Monday, I already have a prior commitment on Monday.
That's okay? I will
The
do
first and
minutes.
the first and the third Mondays of the month, I'm not available.
Okay, what it is, it'll be up to me to do the minutes. I'll take them. So this is the best I can do unless there is one alternative, but I'm not gonna wanna do it. We sit here during a public hearing, we go over it, make our recommendation, then we open it to the public for each article. I'm trying to avoid it. Yes, Larry?
Technically, it would be possible to open the public hearing at its given time and immediately recess the public
Public
hearing.
hearing.
I do not.
Well, I said technically, that, I didn't say usefully, I just said technically. General question, to the degree that the schedule and work of the select board on Monday, is it your cheerful and optimistic hope that with legal counsel reviewing the warrants, that you will be able to complete them so that if the budget committee is downstairs, a copy of your completed work would,
I can't make that, I can't swear that that's gonna, no, I just, I can't.
okay, you follow the point,
I do,
that's all.
I do, and I cannot swear to you that it will be,
It's in the lawyer's hands, as she
Right.
said.
Yeah.
And when I send this budget out tomorrow morning, they'll be able to put that on the warrant article as well. She suggested the 7th. We were downstairs and we will definitely probably get done before they will. I can bring them upstairs. Everything is all set. All they do is have to put it in place, and then the public hearing, we can start right off at 6 o'clock. I am not in favor of recessing and going through all articles and then go back again. It's gonna be a long night by doing that. I'm trying to avoid it, I'm trying to get a head start on it, but now I gotta count on, well, the town administrator. And she says, the lawyer said it's in his hands, and I will bring the budget tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
early. Okay, then when we get done with it, I can bring it upstairs while they're still in session. We should be all set for January 15th, which is the public hearing at 6 o'clock. Yes, go ahead.
Just because, you know, a long evening for topics, not the time. The motion that I made to approve the budget as I read it out is sufficient, and the vote was 5-4.
Yeah.
So it carries the majority of the budget committee, and on that basis, it can be presented to the town administrator as the official budget to go forward to the public hearing.
Okay, with that, you would add that to the motion.
Well, that,
That doesn't,
Yeah.
that specifically doesn't need to be done, it's
And
been
it should go
approved with
without
that
saying.
number.
yeah.
Well, it's been done in the past.
Right, but it should go without saying.
Once you
that
open the
that's-
can of tuna, the cat hears it. I mean, it's,
If you think so, I put it outside. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
And any discussion?
Thank you,
Wait a
Mr.
minute, you
About
get a
it,
second.
Second.
Aaron seconded.
I
Okay.
second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
thank you for all coming. I think I got by it a little bit better than I did before.
Thank you for your work, Larry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to insult.